Relative to the quarterback competition, Tony Grossi, longtime Browns beat reporter, percentage of chances that each of these guys start.
I would put Joe Flacco 45%. I would put Pickett at 40%. I would give both of the rookies 7.5%.
Why so little for the rookies?
Look at that schedule.
Okay, Tone, but the Browns claim that these guys have a legitimate shot to win the job. Your coach said that.
If that were true, they would have drafted Shador much higher. And for that matter, they would have taken a quarterback higher, maybe someone else.
Scott, I think right now, when they head into whatever type of competition, I think Kenny Pickett's 1, and I think Joe Flacco's 2. I don't think there's much separation, but I keep going back to they could have signed Joe Flacco, and they traded for Kenny Pickett, and that's why I think they must like him a little bit more. They're at least intrigued by him, and they're going to give him every opportunity to win the job.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I think the fact that he's, whatever it is, 14 years younger than Joe Flacco matters a ton. And the backdrop for all of this, and I'm not saying it's even right, and I'm not saying it's the number one focus for the Browns, but the backdrop is they got to figure out who their long-term answer is at quarterback. And they got to know 11 months from now if they're drafting another quarterback or drafting one this time in the first round. So you don't learn anything about Pickett, Sanders, or Gabriel by playing Joe Flacco and only Joe Flacco. So I think the dream scenario for the Browns, like we talked about, is Pickett gets a start and plays well, and then, oh my gosh, maybe they have something and don't have to go draft a quarterback. And then after that, it's, well, what if one of their 2 rookies looks like he can play in this league and be a successful starter in this league? So I would put Pickett as the favorite. And then I would probably go Sanders number 2 because I personally think he's better than Dylan Gabriel. And I think the Browns, big picture, need to see what these young guys look like. That doesn't mean that Joe Flacco might not be the starter week 1 and get him through the really rough stretch that we talked about. But I think the Browns want to see what these young guys look like.